we are going to go through also summary. Summary is part of your non-narrative compre. Non-narrative compre, when we're talking about the entire O-level paper, it is actually a total of 25 marks. And out of 25 marks, 15 marks goes to your summary writing. Okay, so there are questions, maybe somewhere about 6 or 7 questions, which will give you a total of 10 marks. That will be for your questions. Okay, Jen Hao is here. Okay. Right. Okay. Anyway, so there are about 6 to 7 questions, comprehension questions that stems from your non-narrative text. Okay, and then the rest will be on summary writing. All right. So that's what we're going to go through today. And basically, we want to be able to use the text structure to understand the meaning and also how the points are linked. Because non-narrative compre, generally the text is non-fictional, right? And it's usually, they will discuss on topics like, for example, global warming, anything to do with environment, anything to do with culture, anything to do with countries or something. So it's very informative. Okay, it can be anything, can be about anything, about organisms and all. Okay, so generally the genre is informational text. And to understand that, okay, Kiran is here. Wait, I think we have most of you here. Okay, so how do we actually use the text structure, okay, to make meaning out of it and also to understand how the points are linked? It's important to know how the points are linked because when you're writing summary, don't forget you are picking out the points and linking the points together. Okay, 8 marks is for content, 7 marks for language. So you need to make sure that you are able to link them nicely. So if you're able to link them nicely, then you get higher marks for your language. For the content marks, as long as you get the points, you get the content. Okay, so we are also teaching you how to sift out relevant points as well. Okay, now next one, since there are few new students, I think there are about 4 or 5 of you. Let me just go through house rules. Okay, for the rest of you, I think it's a reminder as well. I always do not have anyone turning on your video. Actually, it's really important for you to turn on your video. It is actually compulsory for you to do that. Okay, so can you please, okay, turn on your video and also mute your microphone. The reason why you have to mute your microphone is quite simple because if everyone were to turn on your microphone, then there's going to be a lot of background sound. So it makes sense, right? Otherwise, it's going to be very disruptive. Thank you so much, Kietling. Why do you switch it off again? Okay, so yeah, so turning on your video is actually important. Actually, the company has made it compulsory. Actually, we are not supposed to admit anyone who does not turn on your video. Okay, so I know you need some time. Some of you are shy. Okay, thank you so much. No, you're definitely not Jasmine. Okay, thank you so much, Braden. Okay. Another thing is that, thank you, Caitlin. Yeah. If let's say you have something urgent, you can always click on the icon and raise your hands. So then you'll be prioritized to the front and then I can get you to answer questions. If you need to go toilet, go ahead. Okay, I will stop you. I think it is a human need to excrete. Okay, so I will definitely allow that. Just maybe out of courtesy, drop me a message. Okay, so all in all, just be respectful and be careful with what you speak. Be mindful. Okay, practice mindfulness. Okay, anyway, so the non-narrative compre, I've seen some of your work. Okay, later on we'll go through. It's actually a text on horses, right? Right, in Mongolian fields. Okay, we'll come to that later. Now we will discuss why should we identify the text type and structure and how it helps us to understand the points. You will realize that if you're able to recognize the kind of structure and the way that the text deal with the subject matter, like I said, usually the subject matter is something to do with, like, I don't know, the galaxy or something, it can be anything general, but it has to be facts and figures. Yeah. So how do they deal with it actually helps you in terms of crafting your answers also, especially so for your summary. Okay. So for example, like recipe, they're giving you recipe as an example, but generally non-narrative text, they do not come in the form of recipe. But what they're trying to say is that it basically has a certain structure, like what's the dish, what are the ingredients required, what's the method of cooking, okay? And then if you have another genre, like for example, newspaper article, it can be a news article for your non-narrative text sometimes, okay? There will be a main interest paragraph. There will be some explanation of the event in more detail, and perhaps there might be some historical background given to you. Okay, so for that, it's newspaper article. So if you can figure out what is the text type, you can also better predict what the writer is going to tell you. And sometimes we do need to make prediction, especially so for inferential questions. Okay, so we have here, can we, anyone wants to volunteer to read? Maybe I should create the whale, but there are so many of you. Okay, let me see. Any volunteers to read? Otherwise, I'll have to call names. Let us start with, let me see your names. Okay, let's start with Braden then. Okay, because Braden's name starts with letter B, and yeah, no one's name starts with letter A, so we'll start with Braden. Okay, Braden, can you read this paragraph, please?
I don't know read the name.
Zheng He, I think.
Zheng He was born as a Ma He in a landlocked area of China in 1371. At the time, the Ming armies were
Gradually
taking back control of China from the barbarians, and when Ming He was 11 years old, the Ming warriors swept through the town. A general noticed the boy and decided to take him back to Nancheng to be a
Nanjing,
to be a page boy to the young prince Cheater.
Yeah, Judy. Okay, I think these are like Chinese names and all. Okay, so the pronunciation might not be accurate, but it's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So to be a page boy is basically like a person helping the then young prince. He was a prince, right? Judy was a prince. Okay, to help me maybe run some errands and carry some stuff. You know, there's a page boy. So it's like a male attendant, young male attendant. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, next person, let me see. After B is C. Anybody's name starts with C. Okay, Siron. Okay, Siron, can you read paragraph 2, please? Oh, your mic does not work, is it? Okay, let's move on to C, D, E, Eiffel. Okay, we go by alphabetical order, yeah? Eiffel, can you read the second paragraph?
At this point, Maha had his lucky break twice. First, he had and the young prince became good friends. Second, Judy became emperor in a coup over an absent predecessor. So suddenly, Maha was the favorite of the emperor, who installed him as the head eunuch and awarded him the honor of the surname Zheng. In 1405, the young emperor sketched out some plans to send a fleet out in search of the deposed emperor, who was thought to have gone into hiding somewhere in Southeast Asia. It seemed only natural that he should name his friend to lead the fleet. Emperor Zheng may have had some good fortune getting to his position, but he soon showed that it had not all been due to luck. Everyone could see that he was a leader of considerable ability who would soon show the world the glory of the new Ming dynasty.
Thank you so much, Eiffel. Okay, so basically this part is actually the rising, I wouldn't say rising, but it's more of like body paragraph, which gives you a bit more information about Maha. Okay, so because he was actually the page boy to the then prince, but eventually the prince Zhuti became the emperor in a coup. So a coup is basically like a sudden and an unlawful seizure of the power from a government. Okay, so maybe I'll just write it down. Okay, so eventually, because there is an absent predecessor, that means there's no one to take over the throne, and somehow there was, a period of like violence and all. Okay, so eventually Zhu Di became the emperor. So suddenly Maha became the favorite and all, right? So and they were soon able to see his considerable ability to conquer the world, right? To help conquer the world. Okay, now next person, A, B, C, D, E, F. Anybody's name starts with letter F. G, H. Nobody's H. I, no I. J, okay, Jian Hao. Okay, Jian Hao, paragraph 3, please. Jian Hao, can you read paragraph 3, please? Jian Hao, are you there? Oh, you're not feeling well today. Okay, fine. Jian Hao, J, K. K, I know I have a few K here. I have Kabilan, Kiran, Kiet Ming. I think Kabilan will go first because Kabilan is KA. Yeah. All right, Kabilan, can you read paragraph 3, please?
What must it have been like for Zheng as he set out? The planning was complete, the ships ready, but he had never sailed out of sight of land before. So far as we know, any journey, could be highly dangerous. For starters, the Chinese in those days, like their Western counterparts, believed the earth was flat. If you sailed too far, no one was quite sure how far your ship would be caught in a whirlpool and fall off the edge of the world. A storm could easily throw the unwary into the whirlpool. Ships had, after all, been lost in storms caused by huge green-blue dragons. Although Zheng was a Muslim, he had no chances and offered elaborate sacrifices to Tianfei, the celestial consort, who took care of ships at sea. All the ships carried altars from which incense always rose the sky.
Okay, yeah. So some of you might be wondering how come Zheng was a Muslim. Actually, there are some parts of China which comprises of mainly Muslims in certain parts of China. Okay, I think it's near to the Mongolian side of China. There are actually communities in China which are made up of primarily Muslim. Okay, and then also he took no chances and offered elaborated. Okay, so over here there is a little bit of a paradox because he is a Muslim, but he actually offered sacrifices to Tianfei. Tianfei, celestial, anything celestial basically means something that is like more on the spiritual side. Okay, it's not really a real person. I mean, they believe it might be a real celestial consort there. I think it's a belief, it's a custom. Okay. And this celestial consort actually takes care of ships at sea. So they believe in this, like, this when they talk about celestial, it's more like spiritual kind of, maybe they believe might be some form of a god or something. Okay, it's a personal belief. So the ships that Tianfei actually brought out to sea, all of them actually have altars. Altars basically is a place whereby you can, offer your incense, especially so for like Buddhist or Taoist. Okay, so if you are Buddhist or Taoist, I think you are quite familiar with what altars is. But also, of course, altars also can be like places whereby they offer for religious ritual or making sacrifices or offerings to a deity.